Good day, nerds. Welcome to the Multiverse of Entertainment podcast. This is the podcast where we dive into the world of TV and movies, and we sort out the good, the bad, and the damn right ugly. My name is James. Welcome to the show, and this week is episode 44, and we are talking Wheel of Fortune. Yes, that little wheel that just spins around and it has different points on it, misses your gore, and maybe makes you bankrupt in the process. Now, before we start, I'd like to say apologies for not having this episode last week. I kind of had a little bit of a breakdown last week, and I decided to I couldn't put an episode together. I wasn't feeling up to it, so so we did a revisit episode of the very first episode of the podcast, Star Wars Episode 1, The Phantom Menace. Thank you all for listening to that. I do appreciate that. And it was fun to listen back to the very first episode and see where we are now and how far we've come. And I hope, and if you've been here from the start, thank you very much. If you've joined halfway through and that's the first time you've listened to that episode, well, thank you. I hope you enjoyed it. Did have a couple of comments. Some of them were interesting. And, this podcast is just subjective. I have my opinions on certain things. I like certain things. I don't like certain things. And you guys like certain things and you guys don't like certain things. This is why I love doing this podcast. It's the whole point of this podcast is because of that. And I love it. Keep the comments coming in, guys. It's all part of the fun, right? Just don't be a dick about it. If you're going to write in a comment, don't be a dick. Just have fun. Give us your opinion. I will reply back to you in kind, which I have done. And I hope you continue listening to the podcast, because none of these bad comments faze me or anything like that, because I'm 34. I turned 34 this year. I'm at that point where I just really don't give a damn about what people's opinions are of me or of the podcast or anything that I do. So, it's all good. It's all good. It's all fun, It's all good fun. Right, without further ado, we are going into this week's episode, which is episode 44, Wheel of Fortune. And this show debuted, we're talking about the UK version, and the UK version debuted on the 19th of July, 1988. Enjoy the podcast, everybody. Let's go. So, Wheel of Fortune. I think this is everybody's favorite. I think this is kind of everybody's favorite guilty pleasure game show, because this is kind of the show that you would like all the other game shows. I think you'd sit there with your family and just try and guess what is on the board. It's a pretty simple game. But there are slight differences as well. There are two versions of this game as well. There's the US version, and then there is the UK version, but we're focusing on the UK version rather than the US. But I will cross over into the US at some point when we come to hosts. Actually, let's talk about the hosts. Pat Sajak and Vanna White, they've been doing Wheel of Fortune in America for years. I think since the mid '80s, when the show first came about. Because I think it came from America first, and then the UK took that show and brought it over here, and kind of made it into their own thing. And the American version had slight differences, obviously. But through here in the UK, there have been several, in America, where there's been one host and one show lady as well. I don't know what the technical term is, but show lady, we'll go with that. And then over here in the UK, we've had 4 show ladies and several hosts as well. four or five hosts as well. So so it's host wise inconsistent here compared to America, but still a lovable show that we all like, you know. And I had to have a look as well at back at the show, because it's been a while since I've seen the show, and it is pretty fun, and there's some pretty fun moments. So we'll talk about like the brief overview of what the show is. The Wheel of Fortune is a British television game show based on the American show with the same name, created by Marv Griffin. Contestants complete to solve word puzzles similar to those used in Hangman to win cash and prizes. The title refers to the show's giant carnival wheel that that contestants spin throughout the course of the game to determine their cash or prizes. So when it comes to the wheel, on the wheel you have numbers on it, and then you have some words on it as well. So you could spin the wheel. So in the UK version, to start the show off, the words on the board would determine like a book, a TV show, a celebrity, a certain subject, and you'd have to guess. So contestants would in America, the contestants had they both had buzzers, but the American versions had like the pick the stick, press the button one, and the UK had like the press button on the desk. And then if you get the question right, you'd start off the wheel, and then you'd spin the wheel to get it land on something, and then you would guess a letter. And very consistently in the UK, if somebody was doing guess T, 9 times out of 10 somebody would go T for Tommy all the time, and that's the one thing that I've noticed with this show, which is actually quite funny. So on the wheel, obviously, they keep spinning and spinning and spinning until the wheel either lands on like lose a turn or bankrupt, and then you just get moved on. And now, if you land on bankrupt, so all the points that you get would disappear because you're bankrupt, right? You lose everything. And obviously, you've got like free spin, which is self-explanatory. You got 700, 450, 200, 250, 1,000. I think the highest is 1,000. I think, yeah, 1,000 is the highest. So they keep going with that, and the wheel would be like all bright and colorful. Very, very nice presentation, and it would make that impressive, that great, the clattering of that. And it would be quite exciting because you're sitting there watching it and you're going, trying to guess it, and it's really, really good. So, like I said, the host wise, Pat Sajak and Vanna White from the American side. Over here, the presenters of the show, we've had Nick Campbell, Bradley Walsh, which who's a fantastic television host. I think he's an actor as well. I'm pretty sure Bradley Walsh is an actor, right? He is an actor. John Leslie as well was another good one. Paul Hendy. I don't remember Paul Hendy, not that I'm aware of. But I know Bradley. I was too young for Nick Campbell to do it. Probably about the right age. Bradley Walsh. John Leslie was probably the one I remember most of all, because I think he was the guy that was hosting it when I started watching it, which is fine. And then you've got, the showgirls. I don't know if it's a technical term. Co-hosts. I think maybe, I'm not too sure, because the girls didn't really say anything. I don't think they said anything really. Up until like later on in the years, I think. So with the ladies next to them as well, you've got Angelica. Aket. I could say that wrong. She was the first to spin the letters. Then you had Carol Smiley. For those of you who don't know who that is, Carol Smiley was the original host of the old Changing Rooms TV show on BBC. So that's where she was. Jenny Powell as well was on here, and yeah, Jenny Powell as well, which was the third showgirl. She's probably the more prolific one because she begged. She did beg. She worked so hard to convince the producers to get it to allow her to speak, because at the time the girls at the wheel at the letters didn't speak. They literally just sat there, stood there, and just turned the letters over. That is literally it. Bear with me while I have a cup of tea. Lovely. And yeah, it goes and goes and goes. So basically, the route. So with that, so you had the host, you had the host of the show, and then you had the contestants. There would be 3 contestants, obviously. The game would start off, they answer question right, spin the wheel. They keep spinning the wheel until basically either one person would get bankrupt or lose a turn, and it keeps going and going until the puzzle is solved. But they have people will be wondering, if people have guessed it with just one letter. A lot of people have. You'd be surprised. Some people have guessed. I'm not too sure if people have guessed it without any letters. Peter Griffin does not count, by the way. I know people are going to say, "Oh, Peter Griffin did it." That's fine. But there have been occasions where the contestant has actually solved the puzzle with one letter. I think there's an infamous one with Bradley Walsh, and I do have a snippet of it for the end of this episode, where Bradley Walsh is hosting, and the lady guesses one letter. I think it was L, and then she was like, "Can I solve the puzzle?" And Bradley Walsh is like, "Solve it? What do you mean? What do you mean solve it?" So can I guess? Oh, I've got to guess anyway. She's like, "Yeah," and he was like, "Yeah, you got to guess." And then she says the Leaning Tower of Pisa and turned right, and then Bradley Walsh is running about trying to see how she saw it and got it. I think it was one of the not the first time it happened, but it was one of the first ones that happened in a long time, because I think the first one happened with the lady on the final puzzle, where she had one letter, she guessed it right, and she won the car and everything like that. So we play that. It's really, really cool. What else? We got, so the prizes were pretty cool. So you obviously have money. There would be a cash prize at the end, and all I don't know if this was the thing in America, but over here in the UK, when it came to game shows, there would always be a car as a main prize on British UK TV shows, and it's always fun. Always fun to see, because you get to see people look at the cars, and you just think, "Ooh, this is actually pretty. That's actually a nice car." Back in the day, it's an old Vauxhall Astra or something like that. And people are like, "Ooh, that's nice." You wouldn't get Ferraris or anything like that because of the budget that the studios were under, which is quite ironic. So you couldn't give somebody a Ferrari or anything like that. And then I think after a while, there was another thing as well. There would be a red letter, which was called a cash pot. So whatever that cash pot would be, it wouldn't be much, but £100 or £200 or something like that. And if you guess the puzzle with that, you get that money as well on top in hand, and then on top of that, or whatever you win as well, cash prizes. I think the points on the system as well convert into cash as well, and you get a total at the end when you get to the final puzzle, and it will be sorted, and then everybody wins. If you win the car, you win. You get cool prizes and everything like that. So it's all pretty good fun. It's a good fun because you sit there and you try and look at the puzzle and you try and guess with the family on a. I think this was more of a weekly episode. I don't remember this being on a Saturday. Yeah, I don't remember. Yeah, I don't remember. I don't remember seeing this on a Saturday. I think this was more of like a day thing. But the years this show was very, very popular. It lasted for the original run. The original run in the UK. It lasted 14 seasons. 13 seasons. The highest episodes for one season was like season 12. It was like 250 episodes, just nuts. And you're looking at the episodes at the moment. John Leslie probably did the most. Oh, John Leslie did do the most episodes because he started hosting it from season 10 on June 1st, 1998, and then lasted till August 4th, 2001, where season 12 had 250 episodes, season 13 had 125 episodes, season 11 135, and season 10 was like 26. So you can kind of see it all. Looking at it, you're like, wow, that's pretty incredible. And surprisingly to say, Bradley Walsh only did one season, which is us, and Paul Hendy did it. And obviously, due to the popularity of it, I think the views started going down as well. So they decided to like end the show, and but the American one kept going. It's still going to this day with the same hosts, which is awesome. Now there have been some outtakes. I think the most notorious one, I don't know if this was like recorded, but from doing my research, the show had to be stopped and the show had to be postponed till the next day because one of the contestants decided to spin the wheel backwards the other way, and it broke the wheel. Like, obviously, the wheel's designed to go one direction. If it goes the other, it'll just break. So, this is what happened to this person as well. I think it was a person. It was a gentleman. So that was a bit embarrassing, wasn't it? But if it's on an outtake, we'll find it and we'll put it out on socials there for you. But it has made a resurgence this year. January 6th, 2024. The 15th season of Wheel of Fortune has started, and it's being hosted at the moment by Graham Norton. And to be honest with you, great character. To bring a show back like that, you need a strong host, and Graham Norton is a really strong host. I love Graham Norton. He's brilliant. He's funny. He's been on TV for so many years now. He's basically he is a national treasure, and we all love Graham. I love Graham Norton. I think he's great. So there's a revival right now. Graham Norton's hosting, and I think the showgirl, not showgirl. What's the Oh, great! No, Graham Norton seems to be hosting it by himself at the moment, which means the board. I haven't seen the new series, so I'm guessing that they didn't need the traditional show lady next to them, and they might be doing it electronically now. So we'll see how we'll see how it goes. I will have to have a look at it myself. But if you like the Wheel of Fortune, check the Wheel of Fortune out. It's really, really good. It's one of those guilty pleasure TV shows, and I think everybody likes it. And I'm pretty sure I haven't heard anybody say they didn't like it, unless they think it's boring. But everybody has their own taste, right? So it is what it is. Right, I think that's it. I don't think there's any more of the show. Let me know in the comments below if you've got any other anything else to add to this. Yeah, so let's get on with let's do the outro and get out of here, guys. See you in a bit. Bye.
So what?
Well, I have to guess it anyway, don't I?
Oh, you have to try and guess it, yeah.
The Leaning Tower of Pisa.
And that's it, everybody. Thank you. Ooh, press the wrong button there. See, doing a video version is a lot tougher. Trust me, a lot of buttons to press. That is it, guys. That is episode 44, The Wheel of Fortune. Thank you for the wait. I hope it was worth the wait. If it wasn't, sorry about that. But we'll pick it back up next week. If you haven't done so yet, check us out on social medias. Check us out at the check the Multiverse of Entertainment podcast out on social media at Multiverse of Entertainment Pod on Instagram, Mo Podcast on TikTok, and you can catch us now on X or Twitter, wherever the hell it's called these days. Just search at the Mo Podcast on Twitter. I still call it Twitter. Fuck it, it's Twitter. You can catch me as well on all social medias, including Instagram at It's That Nerd James. You can catch me. You can catch me on TikTok at It's That Nerd James. You can catch me as well now on multiple platforms streaming as of today, Monday. You can catch me on Twitch at twitch.tv/It's That Nerd James. You can catch me on YouTube at It's That Nerd James on YouTube, and you can also catch me on Twitter on at It's That Nerd J. And you can also catch all my gaming. You can actually catch all my gaming clips as well on TikTok at It's That Nerd James Gaming as well. Okay, all descriptions will be below. All links will be below, and please go and check it out. And come and watch me play some video games over the next week. So have a good one. Next week, it's episode 45, and my buddy Sassy Bear Clarence is returning to the show because I realized what episode what we're doing on this episode, and we are talking about the Mortal Kombat movie from 1995. If you remember that one, stay tuned for next week. Until then, guys, we'll play the outro that we love so much. Have a good one, guys. See you next week. Goodbye.